in the park, as you can see, walking around. It's bright for 7 o'clock. A couple weeks ago, it was kind of dark. Now it's bright. That's why we don't need to have like daylight saving times, because it really eventually kicks in itself. We don't really need to have it. So, I mean, it's started here. The sun starts going down later, you know? So, let's see here. Getting messages from somebody. I was having conversations with a friend on TikTok, and we're talking about stuff, past experiences and things like that. And he's like 21 years old, and here I am 54. So I'm like 2.5 times his age. Something like that. Let's see, I'm 30, that makes me 33 when he was born. Something like that. Yeah, I was 32, 33. So anyway, we're having this cool conversation about things, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about. See here. Oh, well, wait a minute. What is it? Yeah. So if he's born in 95, that makes that, yeah, I guess. Whatever. But anyway, we're talking about stuff and experiences and studying things and like and dislikes. What makes people tick? What makes people, whether you have vices, whether you have likes, dislikes, preferences, stuff like that. That's what we're talking about. And if you've seen my video earlier today, you see that I like sleeping good if I can. But sometimes it's hard to sleep good when you have a dog, and I find this out more as I get older. They constantly will not shut up. Because all he does is see those cars coming, and his response is to defend. But I'm like, Kirby, shut up. You're killing me. He don't care. He's just sitting there, row, 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 barking and carrying on. Hello, Killer. Oh, Armabello, whatever her name is. Sorry if I butchered that. But anyway, he's just sitting there. He's barking. He's carrying on. Because all he can see is cars lining up in front of my house going up the hill toward the school. Because right above the hill above me is Mountain View School. And that's where all those cars go. And they're waiting. Sometimes they're on that hill waiting to get up in there so they can get their kids. And it's like, how can anybody sit there for all that length of period, sitting in their car waiting to get their kid on the hill? But then I recall, I don't know why I don't remember it as much, my son going to school, and the first year we were here, I passed by the house I'm living in now many times going up that hill. And I think there was somebody moving out of it at the time. And then eventually I got it and it became mine. And so the first year, Seth walked to school. Well, he walked to school since he was all the way in 8th grade. So, it was good not to have him get on a bus and stuff like that, But anyway, I'm kind of missing the point. Got a job. Why don't you get one, Ashley? You're too cute to be talking like that, I'm sure. How much you get paid at your job, Ashley? And if you got a job, don't worry about my job, okay? You worry about yourself. If you don't like my video, you can always leave. Hello, bye. But anyway, what was I saying? My dog barks like crazy. He goes nuts. He sees somebody, he just goes nuts. And I'm mostly awake when he's barking. I can't get that good deep sleep because, you know, the bark disturbs me. And of course, you got people like you can hear the darn cars at times. They're just sitting there, you can hear them running. And somebody might be playing a stereo a little louder than they should, you know. Look at this crazy squirrel. Hold on, squirrel, don't move. Look at that crazy squirrel. Hey, dude, what's up? He's like, hey, dude. He was pretty calm. All right, squirrel. There he is. There's two of them. Oh, they must have babies. Ooh. Hey, Squirrely. What you doing there, buddy? You got kids? Huh? You got kids up there? That's so cool. Move. There we go. All right, back on the track. So my dog's laying on my bed, barking like crazy. I can't think straight. Sometimes I can get into a deep enough sleep where I don't really hardly pay attention to it. But really, this was several years ago. All this stuff started happening 8 or 9 years ago, and I just got tired of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. This dog's about to drive me nuts. And this was getting on 12 years ago. We've had my dog. So, but about 8 or 9 years ago, probably close to 10, I just started to, I noticed people, what we had to do whenever we went to work at the job I was at, doing security, we had to have a hairnet and all that stuff. And of course, I kept my face and head shaved a lot, so I didn't have to worry about it. But we're supposed to have earplugs when we went in there and everything. And I got to a point where I just faded off of that. I never really kept them, even though I was supposed to. But you know, they didn't really pay no more attention to it. I wasn't there to stay there anyway. I was just there to look around and what have you, and just go through. But I got to a point where I'm like, these earplugs ain't gonna work, because I could take them home, I can put them in my headphones or whatever. I mean, I can use them, put them in my ears, and I decided I want some headphones. Like, it's like something that just I wasn't really paying attention to for a good long time. You know, the having headphones and hearing protection, because I don't know, I just guess I was too involved in raising my son and going to work every day and doing security. Hell, and at the time I was making like $10 an hour, y'all. $10 an hour. And I would be on the lookout for certain things, you know, and I'm not going to say exactly what that was. Whenever I was getting older or whatever with my son. But since I moved here in 2008, you know, things have kind of went a little bit different than one like the other. But like I said, I started at $10 an hour. Then about 4 or 5 years later, I got a boost in income. I became site supervisor where I was working at. I had 2 or 3 people working underneath me. And before all that though, I was started getting into wearing hearing protectors instead of, because you can wear those over there too. So I kind of settled for something that from the past that I knew I liked, stuff like that. And of course, when I was younger, I had this thing for, seeing cute women and fuzzy stuff, earmuffs and stuff like that. But of course, I never really actually, when approached them, like, oh, you're so pretty, you're so cute in the earmuffs. I wanted to, but I kind of had that thing with that when I was younger. I would go to this store called B-Mart, and every year they would have a selection of these acrylic 3M Thinsulate earmuffs, and so I'd buy a pair to, do whatever with them. And even when I was a little bit younger, I would, instead of getting Christmas gifts for people, I would get like earmuffs for my aunts and stuff like that, because my mom's friend, because I was being cheap. And other than that though, I figured, hell, it was cold, everybody wants earmuffs. But as I got older, and stuff like that, and I was looking into certain things, and I remember one time we had these I bought a pair of shotgun hearing protectors and all that. And me and my cousins would go out and we would shoot the guns and stuff like that. And sometimes it get kind of loud. So I was living in the area not far from where my ancestors once thrived at and everything. And I was living there right at it pretty much. And sometime I would go hunting in the area and it'd be cold in the morning. So I took my green earmuffs, my hunter green furry Thinsulate earmuffs to keep my ears warm. And I just liked the feeling of them and stuff, and they felt pretty good. So eventually I bought some big old, they call them North ear mufflers or whatever, and I go out there and shoot so I wouldn't go deaf, but shoot my shotgun, because I noticed, dang on, man, it get kind of loud, and if you shot a lot, your ears would start ringing. So I didn't want that, so I went and got those, and my cousin stole them. Why? I don't know. He's weird like that. But anyway, I noticed from that time, hearing's really precious. You need to protect it. And this was probably about early 90s, stuff like that. I will go into more detail, but I'm not right now, about previous to that. But I remember the feeling of the isolation, the noise reduction of those hearing protectors. I thought, all this time, all I could have been doing, hearing these things. It's so cool. Helicopter. All this time I could have been using those or something like them and walking through the coolers and Mayfield there and everything to kind of check things out instead of wearing earplugs. So I got to a point where I just bought a thing of hearing protectors. I think what they were. And then I didn't really like those. I wanted to graduate, and one of them was like I think it was a Bluetooth or something, but they were just regular hearing protectors or something. And I graduated from that and got something different. And I found something that I really liked that had where you could listen to people, and you can push a button on the side of it and you can hear things, or that had microphones on it and everything. It was a ProTech, Ultra ProTech started wearing those. So it would work and everything. And I got addicted to wearing them suckers. They felt good. I loved them. And so anyway, I'll go home and this is not long after my dad died. I remember it because it was about 12 years ago. And we'd already got my dog, me and my son. And so he would go to barking. A few years later, I decided to get him, he'd go barking and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, Joe, shut up. So I put those things on, cut off the microphone things to him, and boy, I slept like a baby. And I started liking that. This is about 9-10 years ago. We'd already had my dog for 2 or 3 years. So I started doing that, and I've been kind of addicted to it since. And I've been trying to improve on, things to help me sleep, stuff like that. Because you got cars that are going back and forth, keeping you awake, and dogs barking. And sometimes my son doesn't know the limitations of volume. And even at that, the room he's in, his light comes into my door. I'm like, son, why don't you turn that light on? Jeez. And he's the same way with me. He was in a room beside my room, but he decided he wanted to get to the room we used to have the computer room in, what I used to call the man cave. But and now he's got that room that looks like a freaking war zone, a disaster zone. I'm like, get this damn room cleaned up. 23 years old. Hello. Good, how about you? Thought I was hearing things. That's why I'm walking. That's alright. So, what's up, man? What's up, Ka-chow? Tony, what's up? See, I told you. You don't hear. Check out my content and stuff. Anyway, she's cute. She's probably about my age. Think hard to run her down? Nah. Looks like she might work at a hospital. But anyway, what was I saying? Got my train of thought. Okay, so I think I'm on my third lap. But anyway, I just noticed I could rest a whole lot better with pretty much earmuffs on. And I tried to upgrade them because I knew they weren't going to be what I wanted them to be exactly. I mean, some were, but not all of them. So eventually they started coming out with these work tunes, stuff like that. These big bulky things. And so I started wearing those, but the antenna would get in the way. And then they came out with the gel seals. I like the gel seals, they're comfortable. But still there was something missing. So I tried yeah, they are. I don't have that no. Yeah. I just get this thought sometimes. What if I just slipped up behind? I did that to one person at work time, and they were like so surprised. I was walking through the plant, and I had my earmuffs on, hearing protector earmuffs, and I walked up behind her because I knew her. I thought she wouldn't mind. I sneaked up behind her and put them over her ears, and I looked at her in the face. She goes, she looked distant and foreign and kind of smiled. I'm like, she was about to go into her mind was about to bleed. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, oh, no, that's okay. I like that. That's nice. Where'd you get those from? I'm like, well, I kind of modified them. And so she She kind of acted like she liked it and everything, but that's all I heard of her from. But I started doing something else, you know. But anyway, though, it just found them to be really comfortable, and I started trying to improve them. Tried the Sherpa fleece, send them. You know, that worked pretty good for a while and everything, but you know, I just felt like, what are you two doing? What are you two doing up there? There's three of you. Three of the little squirrels. Squirrel. Sorry, I got distracted. Hey there. Hey, buddy. Go ahead, boy. Get him. Oh. Thought they were trying to make out or something. Guess not. Hey, what are you doing? You see me? But anyway, thought they were kind of getting at it, you know, doing a whoop. Feel like a squirrel. But I just went from one to another. I got some before, and what I did at times, I would buy some, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like what I wanted, but not really what I want. And what I would do, I'd have friends on there, you know, and on Instagram, Facebook, and people I knew at work or whatever. Got to be friends with them or friendly with them. So what I would do is say, hey, you want these? Oh yeah, sure, those are nice. Well, you know, give them to them, whatever, or I'll send somebody to them through the mail. And they did. This one girl did it on YouTube about 2 or 3 times. I really wasn't trying to press her too much. I didn't want her to think I was trying to be a pervert or something. Not, because I'm not. I'm just trying to help people get to have healthy hearing, stuff like that. Just, you know, and if somebody was into it like that, then fine. If not, then I'm not going to push the issue, because I don't want nobody thinking the wrong thing of me. But anyway, I would send it through, you know, send some of those things through the mail. I'd buy the WorkTunes AM, FM headsets or whatever, and just send them to people, just for the hell of it. I brought my sister and my stepsister a set, and my stepsister, well, I kind of in a way consider her as my real sister. But when I moved here, I didn't like her much. But after a while, after she had a couple kids, you know, we started getting close. But anyway, I bought her some, and I bought my niece some, and they would be out there wearing them and stuff like that. You know, the furrier most ones too. You know, so they put them to good use and stuff like that. And I said, what's the thing you notice about them? I can barely hear anything in them. You know, even some of the earmuffs, the furry ones, you can hardly, but you can hear stuff, but it was kind of, the noise was kind of muted. But anyway, I decided the thing wasn't going to go well with the fleece anymore, you know, the Sherpa. So I wanted something different. And so one time I bought these, what do you call them? I bought them twice actually. I recently had them. They call Sleep Cocoon headphones. And I noticed that even though they had these little things in them that, you know, you can listen to binaural or white noise or whatever, and it'll play until you fall asleep. It reads your brain waves, why have you. And these little things, these little nodes inside of them touch your ears, the inside of your ears. I don't know how it does it, but how in the world it does it. But I don't know what it is. That's a how can something like that actually read your brain waves? I think what it mostly is because it reads the pulse or whatever. You read your pulse. It's like some little pulse ox thing does. I think that's what it does. It doesn't read brain waves. It measures your pulse and it makes graphs based on that, and when you fell asleep. So if it reads a low pulse and everything, that means you're falling asleep. high pulse are still up, stuff like that. So that's what it did, I believe. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I discovered I put a furry earmuff thing on there, and I kind of used to take the elastic, and get it into the grooves. It almost looked like they were just ordinary headphone earmuffs. I'm like, an idea. So what I did was I took the earmuff thing off, cut the middle part of it out because the little node things went touching my ears. So I took the middle thing out, cut the middle part of it out. Then they were touching my ears. But I noticed, I'm like, man, this is really comfortable. So I put them on, went to sleep. But you couldn't move your head too quick or whatever because all the gadgetry would be in the top part of the headband. And the weight of the air cups over your ears, when you move too quick, they would kind of end up falling off your ears. They didn't really have a good clamping force kind of over them, Yeah, like I said, I did that before, Tony. I did that with whenever I first started out using them earmuffs over there when I was working. I tried to, use two worlds, so to speak. But I just found that the earplugs were just hurting my ears more than they were helping. So, because I got one small, I think I told you, I got one small ear canal, another one's a little bit bigger. So I can hear things a little bit better in one ear than I can in the other. I think I do at least. But yeah, I tried that, but it didn't work for me. But what I told you in text earlier, yes, that's what I feel about it. Outside of that discussion that we had. But I'm on my fourth lap here. I didn't really pay attention to what I'm doing. It's like I'm going around and I don't even know it. Out of body experience. I'm on my fourth. This is my fourth one. Now I'm going on my fifth. But what I was trying to say there is that I ended up giving a whole lot of them away. I'd buy some about like 9-10 years ago when I really got into it. How I had the freaking money to do that, getting paid $10 to $12 an hour doing security. But I was working 42 hours a week. So and I just don't know how I can't do that now though, for some reason or other. Other than this other loan I got a mortgage and a loan. But then I just went crazy one time and just when I got into it, the Peltor came out with this X series, and I got every single one of the series, from the black ones all the way to the smaller ones. I'm like, okay, that's a little out of hand. That's a little crazy. So I'd get some of them away, whatever, and I'd send them to people, and I would buy. There's a couple times where I just bought earmuffs, a whole bunch of earmuffs, and I just gave them away. I got a whole bunch of sheep. I saw some sheepskin ones on eBay, and I think they came from, I think they were called something other Jones, and they were all sheepskin. And this was a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago. I mean, I just bought a whole bunch of them, and I would give them out to people, And I thought they kind of smelled kind of odd. They wasn't a bad smell, but I put them in a dryer. And I thought that'd get smell out with the dry sheets, but really, they kind of didn't do a lot of good for the outside. Some of them I'm like, ooh, well, I better not do that no more. So I had all these earmuffs. And I just like, okay. I'm gonna do it all these things. So I eventually handed them out and everything, and eventually got rid of them. And then sometime later, I started getting on Amazon here and buying more of them and stuff, and I just keep them. And whenever it got cold, I give them to people, 2 or 3 at a time. Some of them really liked it; they really appreciated them. I still talk to them. Other ones, like a thanks bye, and that was it. You know, make friends with them for a minute, and they can say something about their ears being cold. And they go, "I got a solution. Here you go." And then they don't talk to you no more. They get what they want, then they don't talk to you. You know, and it's like I wasn't trying to get you to do this, that, and other for favoritism. I just thought it'd be nice, you know. And they take it the wrong way. Eventually, but like here recently, the supervisor and a girl, she has a boyfriend, and the girl has a kid and everything. But you know, we talk every once in a while. We come in, but she's mostly quiet, don't say very much till she's spoken to. So she'd be at her little station area there doing whatever, and doing stuff for schoolwork and everything. So she don't talk very much. And I think she kind of got the wrong idea about me. Because last week, was it Monday or Tuesday night? Tuesday night, came in, and it was cold, back in the 20s. And so the next night, I knew it was going to be cold again. I had the ones I bought from Brooklyn Bay. The ones from Brooklyn Bay, oh my gosh, y'all. Wow, they're so soft. It's almost like rabbit fur, but it's fake fur. That's what I got on my earmuffs and while I sleep. That's the video that I made. But anyway, what I did was I brought 2 pair. One was kind of like a cream color. The other one's black. And so what I did was I brought them. And when she came in the morning, I brought y'all some of these in case you get cold and everything, because it was still cold. It probably wasn't going to warm up until the afternoon, just a little bit. And so, she goes, thanks. But before that, she talked to me every once in a while. The next night, didn't say a word to me. The next morning, rather. The next morning after that, ain't said a word to me. The next morning, ain't said a word to me. This morning and the morning before that, didn't say a word to me. I'd say hello, whatever, you know, y'all have a good one. And in the very beginning, though, she'd be like, bye, see ya. But now she don't know. I was like, what did I do? What did I say? And I don't know whether it's because I brought those things or what. But now the supervisor, oh, wow, that's neat. Thank you for that. I know it's probably getting a little warmer now, but I brought them for you and so-and-so because it was kind of cold last week. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll take this home with me. I will put them up until next time. But they're still sitting there in the cubby hole. And that's the first thing that the other girl sees when she walks in. So I don't know if she's taking it the wrong way or something, that a 54-year-old guy's hitting on her or something, because that's not the case. Because I sat there with her a few weeks ago, about a month ago now, and the supervisor, the little short little thing. I call her Shorty. Funny young lady. I mean, she's in her 30s. The other girl's probably young 20s. But we sat there for a couple of days, and we sat and watched Bridgerton while we were waiting for trucks to come in. I don't like that. I don't like Bridgerton. And they were cutting full. We were all cutting full and everything. I said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get some. Y'all want something? Yeah. I said, hey, you want something? He goes, I'm good. Asked the supervisor, you want something? Oh, yeah. So I got her a Dr. Pepper and stuff and everything. I don't care. I was trying to make friends with him. But here we are a couple weeks in, and it's still cold. I go to bring her some earmuffs. She goes, thanks. That's all she said. And then now she doesn't even talk to me. I don't know why, but maybe I don't talk directly to her. Maybe it's in my head, not in her head. But I don't know whether she feels that way or what, or because she's got a boyfriend, a young fella, and he comes over there, lunch and stuff, and all that together, and takes good care of her. And I'm supposing he's a good provider for her and the baby, and everything. And so why wouldn't, I hope she don't get the impression that I'm trying to, give her the wrong vibe. You know what I mean? Because that would not be good. Can I do this to 5? Okay, this will be the 6th. Getting on number 6. All right. I'm trying to do 7 of these things. But anyway, I just don't want to give her the wrong impression, that I want something for something else. And a lot of times I've had a couple experiences where people have got that impression and everything. Even one time, it was for Christmas, right after I bought those sheepskin ones. And I bought some for my nieces. And they love them things, man. And like I said, even the radio ones, they love them. And my nieces, boys, they love those different things. Like, Uncle Butch. I bought some of them before that were like shotgun earmuffs, and my brother-in-law, my step-brother-in-law, he had them on the front dash of his truck. He used them for, going into loud places. So I was like, man, you like that? They go, oh yeah, they help out a lot. Oh, good. Glad I could help out. But, my mom's friends and stuff, this is a bike club, or whatever it is, a riding club she goes to. And my mom is like almost 80 years old, y'all. And she knows how I kind of feel about it. They tease me, my sister teases me about it. I try not to give all the signs out about it. But I just try to make it seem like they're talking out their ass, like they're crazy and stuff, because they probably are. I know they are. That's where I got it from. But anyway, we're hell, I might need to take a shower. We're sitting there and we're talking and stuff, and I had this idea. So I bring a whole big bag of earmuffs, and whoever comes there, I give them earmuffs. Just for the hell of it, just for fun. Some of them are really into them. I like them. And my mom's dog, well, it's my mom's boyfriend dog, really, if you think about it. He gets a pair of them, he goes to town on them. He goes to chewing them up. And there's somebody left them out. And I look at my mom, I look at the dog, I'm like, okay, that's not happening again. We're not doing that again. So, anyway, she teases me about it and everything. My mom does. But at the time, I was like, it was a few years ago when that happened. But there's one, she came and visited my mom and everything. And I gave her a pair. And we took a picture together. I even get some people at Waffle House. And this girl at Waffle House, oh my gosh, she loves some things. Even if it's a little bit cold, she wears them. Because they're the Brook and Bay ones. Really, really, really soft. And she wears her earbuds underneath them. So that's one for you there, Tony. She wears her earbuds underneath and listens to music and wears the furry earmuffs over that. So she's really into them. And then there's the other girl, she loves them too. But when it's hot, they're off. This waitress, server, I know her daughter. I give her daughter a set, and like the other girl that cooks, the one that wears earbuds, she loves them. But I think I put a picture up there before, Tony. I don't know if you've seen it. over at Waffle House. But anyway, the whole thing of it is just, I like giving them out. If I got the money to get them, I'll buy them, I'll give them out to people. I wanted to do that as like a ministry thing. That's what I used to do. I also used to do the King James Bibles and stuff like that. And sometimes I would put the earmuffs with them, kind of make some kind of thing about hearing the Word of God, blocking the world out, hearing God's Word only. Squirrel. How you doing?
Hey,
What's he doing? What's up, squirrel? What the hell is wrong with that guy? That dude's not here talking earlier. What the hell is he talking about? What the hell is he even saying? What the hell? You just heard him talking the same way. What the hell's wrong with that dude? Walking around in his pants and no shirt on. I mean, it is kind of hot, warm, not hot, but warm. Especially when you walk around the street. Head sweating. Trying to get home here and take me a quick shower before I take a nap for work. And what really does it for me, putting those earmuffs over my ears, having quiet. And that's the thing about my dog barking. Even though sometimes those earmuffs, like the ones I wear, are 30 decibels, floating noise reduction is 30 decibels. Probably the fur stuff, fake fur, it might kind of leak something in. So having the vinyl or having the gel ear cups on the skin and everything around your ears is what really does well blocking noise out. But if you have like a whole bunch of hair around your ears and stuff and you go to put those things on, then you probably your noise reduction rating might lower a little bit and you can't block out as much sound. But I think that's the thing they call attenuation. Like I can be in bed and I still hear my dog bark, but it's like the part of it that just makes me cringe. That part of it I don't hear. So I hear him bark, but the part that and I know he's barking, and the fact that I know he's barking, even though I still wear them, like, shut up, Herbert, be quiet. Or I kind of use my foot to kind of nudge him, or I pull him over to me and make him sit down. So that doesn't always work. But last night I noticed I took some of these new ones to work and everything. They're called HCM Safety. And I did a little furry treatment stuff on them. The ones I showed this morning afternoon, the 3 I showed from the previous video. If you haven't seen it already, it'll probably render here in a little bit. Probably 10 or 11 minute video. But anyway, I put there's this sound. There's walk all night long. Then sometimes it'll stop, but then it'll pick up. Then it'll pick up again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy. Just sitting there. So I had to do something that gets my mind off of it. I watch some videos or something on the computer or on the phone or what have you. I'm like, please, somebody come up. Please, driver, come up. Somebody come get your load. Somebody come talk to me, distract me. Because this continual sound, walk, and then it'll stop a little bit, walk, and it'll quit. 23 minutes, walk. Lord have mercy, help me. Please stop. So having those last night, those ones I showed earlier on my video, they helped a whole lot. They're more squarish. So being that more squarish, they hold the muff things a lot better too. And the good thing about those is they hit the band, the slide things, easily came off of them, and they stay on there pretty good too. So I made a little hole, a little slit, pulled them that little thing over the little thing, snapped them back on. They're still doing pretty good. So hey, Tony, get up with me in the messages, man. I want to talk to you, ask you something other, if you're still on here, or you can message me about whatever. It's still on TikTok or on Instagram. It doesn't matter if you're still on here. I don't know if you're still on here, but yeah, like I tell you, I got all kinds of stories. You know, I mean, it's obvious, really, when you watch my videos. If you go back and you see when I started using those things 8, 9, 10, almost 10 years ago, it's obvious. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not pulling nobody's leg. Some people think it's weird, it's taboo. I mean, I'd probably like to agree, you know, but really, when people get weirded out by that stuff, it's usually because they got something of their own they don't want nobody else knowing, and they're kind of invading their space with weird things like that because of what they consider weird, because they got weird things more than that. Some people are into poop. Some people are into pee or golden showers. I mean, that doesn't do anything for me. All I like is noise isolation and blocking things and being able to have comfort when I sleep and try to help others have the same thing. I had a girlfriend, and this, Tony, like I said, if you're still here, this is the one I told you about. She had a tough time. Her daughter had a tough time sleeping. And these kids loved me and I loved them. This was back in the mid-90s. I was in the early 20s. They loved me and I loved them. Great kids. I was about, how old was I? I was about 24, 25. I can't remember what lap I'm on now. Let's see here, I'm gonna walk one more. Tend to be 7 or 8. That's good because I'm sweating, burning up calories. But anyway, she had a tough time sleeping. And so her name was Alicia. I can say that now because she's an adult, grown up, I guess. And she had a tough time sleeping, and her mom, who I was dating at the time, she was a little bit older than me, a couple years older. And yeah, she was into fuzzy stuff. Let's just say that. So anyway, I saw some. Like I said, I would usually go to a store and buy those things, and she had problems sleeping. And I think something happened with her when she was a little girl that messed with her, because sometimes her mom will get in. She didn't know how to control herself at times, you know, and that was one of those flaws she had, her mom, which is the one I was dating. And of course she had an older son. His name is Robbie. And so she had trouble sleeping. And I was like, okay, Alicia, you know, because I'd be hanging out with them. I lived with her for quite a while. She had an apartment or whatever. And so I kind of tried to help out. But at the same time, too, I was still pretty immature, young. Even though I was about 24, 25 years old, I was still pretty immature for that age. Because I was really into comics. And I did a dumb thing, burning up comic books, because Jehovah's Witnesses messed with my mind. And I started dating her and everything, and she bought them all back for me. So whenever we separated, whatever, I made sure she got all the comic books because that's the ones mostly she bought. Superman, Death of Superman, Batman. But anyway, her daughter had a problem sleeping. And I'm like, well, at least you need to go to sleep, sweetie, because you got school tomorrow. I can't sleep, boy, I can't sleep. She called me Daddy Butch. I'm like, she didn't have to do that, but she did. And the woman I was dating, her husband, they were divorced. And he had another woman and his stepkids. And me and him were on good terms. He was a great guy. I liked him and everything. We got along great. But anyway, I told her she didn't have to call me that. That she had a daddy. But sometimes she would. She wouldn't think about it. And because I was trying to be good to the kids. It was my first experience of, doing something for kids. So she couldn't sleep or anything. And I just recalled at times, them fuzzy things would kind of help you sleep better, So I got her a set, or at least I think I had a set of the acrylic ones. Thinsulate. I think I bought them. I bought my girlfriend Lisa some. That was her mama. Her name was Lisa. And I bought her some. And they would go around the house playing around with them, and she would flirt with me about it and everything, my girlfriend, and go, oh, you like these, huh? You like them, huh? I got something special for you tonight. I think, okay. But the little girl couldn't really sleep. So I had an idea. And so I said, well, try these on. So we adjusted and put them over her ears, stuff like that. And 10 minutes later, y'all, I went in there. The girl was out. She was sleeping like she would never sleep. She just sleeping with her mouth open. And I would check on her sometimes. And naturally, her mother, my girlfriend at the time, trusted me. And I know some people might think that's really weird. But this was like 30 years ago, And, but anyway, it helped her. And I do know by watching some videos, some little girls like to wear in the bed. And there's a couple of them that like to wear in the bed because they block out sound. They're able to sleep better. But eventually they cut off and come off and as they roll around. But after she had that experience with them, she's like, I like these. I want to. And she'd ask her mom. I said, well, I want the earmuffs again. Her mom was like, what are you talking about? So I said, I put those things over her ears and everything. She likes them. And so she had like 2 or 3 pairs, her mom did. She even had the one with the earmuffs with the strap part. You go over your head like a bandana. So she would wear those to bed instead. And so the girl would sleep great. So that's the benefits of noise reduction while you sleep and everything. And even the, because they naturally would feel pretty good over your ears, stuff like that. So that's why I do it. It makes me feel comfortable, it makes me feel secure. 54 years old. It might be weird to some people, but please don't take it that it's some kind of perverted thing. As me talking about my girlfriend's daughter and stuff, because that's far from the truth. Never. I didn't even consider doing something like that to get an arousing out of it. Wasn't it at all. It's just my girlfriend's daughter couldn't sleep. I thought of a solution. It ended up paying off based on previous experience. And like I said, you see some people sometimes. I've seen some people around here and they wear earmuffs and stuff and everything, and the children love them. They're like little fuzzy little teddy bears that they just love and everything, and they gotta have them over their ears. They gotta have them around their neck. 2 little fuzzy little things, they gotta mess with. And they're kind of like toting a little doll around or a teddy bear around, but it's around their neck. And one of my nieces, she wore them to sleep. And my older niece, she wore them to bed. My stepsister's kids, they wore them to bed, and because they just one like the way they feel, and of course some of them have Bluetooth in them and everything. So I just loved them, helped them sleep. But that's just a great benefit of having hearing protectors or earmuffs and stuff like that. Hey, you. I'm sorry I ain't got back in touch with you. I've been in another world. And Tippy, she loves hers too. At least that's what she said. Sorry, I was giving my whole life here just about. I got a guy that likes to listen to me talk. Yeah. So that's 45 years or something like that. Look at that, I'm sweating. And Tippy, I think you know, I think you remember Lisa Bryant that lived over in the trailer park. Joey Hickman's sister. Yeah, trying to be. Whew. Like I said, I'm sorry I ain't got in touch with you. Yeah, well, anyway, me and Lisa dated for a while, for a couple of years there, and she really, liked doing stuff and all that and the other, and she was questionable about a lot of things. I think my dad had something with her, but once I discovered something about it, and then my mom waited almost 2 years to tell me anything about it. She didn't tell me, and once I found out about it, I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. My dad was a dog. So I'm like, why are you waiting 2 years to tell me this now? And I'm like, asking her, I was like, why didn't you tell me all this stuff? Because there were a couple times whenever my dad would get her to take him to go get his check. And I'm like, how in the world did you know my dad? I couldn't figure it out. She didn't really tell me. But we met each other at the hitching post over there outside of Manning, like you're going toward Pocataligo Swamp. That's where we met each other and everything. And I had that, if you remember, I had that red Mustang. But anyway, once I found that out, I felt kind of dirty, man. I was like, why didn't you tell me? But the kids were great. I love the kids. But that thing with her, that little daughter of hers, it just seemed to have really worked and everything. And I was just sharing that with the, what's his name? Tony Kachow. I was sharing that with him. User CO5, whatever his name is. I gotta get over here and wash up, y'all. I'm sorry, like I said, I ain't got up with Tippy. I just been in another world. Sorry about that. Ain't got nothing to do with your looks, because I'm terrible looking. I remember you said that before. It ain't got nothing to do with that. But golly, I'm sweating. I think I did like 7 or 8 laps. Golly. I gotta get off here and go wash up real quick and get ready to ask her. Tippy, tell him what I got you whenever was it when Brittany was born, or when Courtney was born? That guy down there, user Tony, he's a friend of mine off of TikTok. Damn, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I don't know if you like them, but you're kind of. I bought her a pair. I bought her a pair a couple of years ago, Tony, and she took a picture of them with her wearing them and everything. She looked really cute. And these are, I think these are the Brook and Bay ones that I got her, and they just. Hurry up, train. story I was telling you. But that came a little bit later. Tippy, I call her Tippy. Her name is Tippy. But we have a bit of a friend-like history and everything. And the girl I was talking about meeting in '93, that was a friend of hers. They were friends. They were good friends. Marla. And yeah, I've known Tippy since we were in grade school together. Oh Lord, y'all, I gotta get on out of here. You're looking for what? I mean, I bet you it's the weirdest thing, somebody getting on here and talking about freaking earmuffs and sharing experiences. People get on here like, man, that dude's perverted. There's something wrong with him. And it probably is. But you ain't going to see me take it out on you or do something towards you with it. Or anybody else, rather, for that fact. Yeah, there's a little couple here. So, cute little moment. Oh. Makes you turn your head like, what are you looking at? Okay, get it off of and go. Yeah, I know, but some people get uncomfortable with it. And like I said before, some people have taken it the wrong way on my account and everything. And I was just trying to be helpful. And that's the only thing I know to do anything with, because I've had this thing since, I don't even know what to freaking call it. It's just, I've always liked it and stuff. And I bought Tippy a pair whenever she was, God, how old were you, Tippy? You were like, oh wow, it was, when was it? What, mid-90s or something? And you were going to a football game or something, and I think that's when you were with Terry, I think. And maybe so. You'd be my earmuff queen, wouldn't you? Yeah. She's trying to get me down there to Maggie Valley, Tony. She's trying to get me all that 5-foot snow of hers. When it gets snowed in over there, boy, you're snowed in. And that's when the fuzzy stuff really is needed then. Any tip. I gotta get in here and take me a shower. Sweat it real bad. Little kids over there. Yeah, I just like buying them and giving them away and stuff like that. It's fun. I enjoy doing it. I bought some the other day, Tony, but they're like, if you go to Amazon and you look at Suhan, and these is the red and black and blue ones, they're like for $17, 18 of them, and they're really nice and soft and fuzzy and furry and everything. And I bought a whole bunch of them and everything, and just for that price. And I took a pair to work, and when it was still a little bit chilly, I took them and left them in somebody's little drop box. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I gotta get in here, y'all, and take a shower. Don't take it the wrong way, y'all, but I gotta leave. We gotta get off here and shower up. And of course, both of y'all, you know how you message me and stuff. I'm gonna get off here and wash up, get ready for work. I might do it live tonight. I don't know. And probably gonna take everything. I don't know. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Just message me, either one of you. I'll see you in a little bit. I gotta take a shower.